The price tag on my head was $5,000. Easy money. I followed the bald man down a long corridor, lined with closed doors and framed black and white studio portraits of the nation's newscasters. I turned away from their glossy print gazes, focusing on the producer's back. He wore a long-sleeved blue button-down and black khakis that had sharp creases on either side of his legs. Sweat beaded on his forehead from the brief moment he'd spent outside to allow me access to the building. The overhead lighting made his shoulder-holstered gun gleam. He deliberately kept a few paces ahead of me, and I caught the downdraft of his cologne. He smelled nice. I didn't. Too much time in the heat, dressed in too many layers, wearing most of the few clothes I had to my name all at once. I didn't want them to get stolen and find myself fucked over by the winter. Not that I was going to live that long. "We're through here, Miss Stone," the producer said. I forgot his name. Stevens or Stevenson, whatever. He held the door open for me and tilted his head back, nose up, holding his breath as I walked past. I imagined he worked with a lot of the desperate filth, and I wondered how he hadn't gotten used to it yet. Fuck him. Let him enjoy his false sense of security. Truth was, he was living on the edge between prosperity and desolation, a good 2 weeks' notice away from losing everything. Eventually it would happen, and he'd be blindsided by it, same as everyone else. "Should I leave my coat?" I asked. His lips curled in a funny, sour sort of twist, and he primly shook his head. "You can hang it over there," he said, pointing to an overly elaborate coat hanger. I shook myself free of the carpenter's coat, and then peeled off 2 oversized sweaters down to a dirty, sweat-stained, and once white tank top. I thought about taking off my boots to fuck with him, smirking at the idea of smacking him across the face with a toe-jammed soiled sock. Smug prick. Stevens, if that was his name, stood at an end table next to a fancy bar stool with a thick leather seat. A large wooden box the color of dark walnut was opened on the table. The revolver sat enshrined in plush velvet, and he motioned me toward it with an artificial air of ceremony.